Well, it's live. At least it's live.
Our top story tonight, some going down in November.
War spending.
There has got to be something big a-brewing.
They're using geese to guard prisons in Brazil.
Does Biden know what Mexico is?
Would you scare Joe Biden?
What are we laughing at?
I think Billy Mays was real.
I'm a world-class skeptic.
I don't know anything about Hunter Biden. I don't know who's big into cocaine and laptops. Why is that our problem? Complete, absolute incompetence. Like, who funds the news? It's a freaking inside job, man. That the entire world's a stage and everything's fake.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Touch Me Tuesdays on the Veritas Road. Carson and John here with you on this about to be stormy Tuesday here in Columbia. A couple of things to touch on this Touch Me Tuesdays before we get going. Folks, first off, go check out the show we did with Andrew from 6G Agenda. Andrew is brilliant. We were on his channel. Go watch that. Go like his channel. Subscribe to his channel. Give him all the love because he deserves it, and he's trying to pay rent next month. So go do that. Also, if you haven't seen it, go check out the show we did with the Berean Files. That's on our channel, and if you get the chance, go check out their work as well. A couple of really good dudes over there, both just super smart. So go check that out. We talked about the necessity of engaging darkness for Christians. That was super interesting. I think both John and I had just a ridiculously good time on that one. So go check those out if you guys are around tomorrow around 7 p.m. Central Time. I think John's going to abandon me, but I'll be live with Stacks Farmstead for I'm not sure what. They've not told us what we're talking about, but I'll be live with them about something, and I'll be there and they'll be there, and it'll be a good time. So be sure to go like and follow Stacks and Drew over at Stacks Farmstead on YouTube and all the places. Am I missing anything, John? Go follow us. Obviously, follow the channel, like the channel. Do what, John? Sorry,
I'm trying to figure out how to schedule to send you a text so that you actually remember to do that.
We can get to that.
I can't figure that out.
Yeah,
I do hate
you out after.
Yeah, I do hate that I'm going to miss that. But
yeah, you had to be gay and go on vacation.
Yeah, so I'll probably listen though, at least to some of it.
I'll be honored if you do. So I'll feel good.
I'll try to show up in the chat for a little bit. So
ooh, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Maybe I'll try to go and win Banger Box. That's what I'll do.
There you go. There you go. It'll be you and Q battling out in the chat. We'll see.
Oh
no,
see
who wins.
I think Q's gonna show up for a little bit tomorrow.
Oh, is he gonna be live with us?
Yeah. So
okay,
give me an advantage.
Yeah, you'll have a chance. I mean, if Q's in the chat, is anybody else winning Banger Bucks? I don't feel like that's happening.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. We missing anything else? Like the channel, follow the channel, guys. Like the stream. Follow us on Spotify or whatever audio platform you listen on. Be sure to check those out. We're trying to grow those. Spotify hasn't moved in a minute, so we need to get some traffic over there as best we can. Yeah, that's about it. So a couple of things as we get the show kicked off this week. The first thing I want to talk about is something I've thought about off and on for quite a lengthy amount of time. So John, and I'm curious what you think about this. So one of the things that I'm having a hard time dealing with is we do this show, we do other people's shows, and as I just operate in the regular world, is people who very publicly, like, this is going to sound, people who very publicly give glory to a deity, right? People who are like, that was God, or whatever it happens to be, or like people who very publicly say, no, it wasn't me, it was Jesus. And while outwardly those seem like very good things, folks, please don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying it's bad to say those things. My cynical self has always, since I was a little kid, looked at people. What's up, Neff Hunter? Looked at people saying things like that and just wholly and completely assumed 99.99% of it is disingenuous. Like when somebody says something that sounds like spiritually righteous in public, you know, I mean, I've even started thinking that way about like conspiracy world, where people like make sure to say, oh, the truth is all 9/11, so whatever it happens to be. I'm like, you're just virtue signaling for people to think good thoughts about you, right? Like I've reached a point where my like cynical nature has permeated the way I think about humanity on such a deep level. If anybody says anything good or positive in public, my immediate automatic assumption is that it's fake. And what I'm starting to try to do on a personal level is at least give those people their due a little bit, like try to give them the tiniest benefit of the doubt. But on the other end of the spectrum, a lot of people are full of shit. So like, what's the real happy medium there? Because I mean, you grew up in the same like religious sphere I did. So many people in that world, and even in the conspiracy space, I'm sure you've noticed it. Like so many people in those worlds will just say something to have said it, you know, will say something so that they've been heard saying it. I'm sure I've done that a million times, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so I don't even know how I'm struggling with giving people their due as far as like, yeah, you did a good thing, you said a good thing, whatever, but also maintaining what I would consider to be a healthy level of skepticism.
I mean, yeah, giving people their due. I think to me it gets a little bit easier because it's like I'm sure I do that all the time. Like virtue signaling is one of like the easiest like bad things to do that you don't necessarily know that you're doing.
Yeah,
all the time, right? It's like it's a really like subtle trap to fall into, because everyone likes to have like feel good without actually having to do anything, right?
right.
Like
that's the dream. That's the dream.
It's easy for anybody to like fall into that trap. So it's like most people who do that crap, I don't really even think that they recognize that they're doing that crap. So I don't apply a ton of intention to people like that. Just normal everyday folk,
Yeah. And I think that's a much better way to look at that, probably. Than just assuming everybody's full of shit, which is what I do. Like I've automatically, since I was a little kid, just assumed if somebody says like, "Oh, glory to God," they're probably doing it just to be seen saying that. And that's not a healthy way to look at people. Like that's not a healthy way to look at anything. Look at society. And so it's one of the things I've noticed about my own behavior that I'm trying to work on. But I'm always curious about other people's perspective on that. Just because I think there's an element of shrewdness that is important to have in that arena, and I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, you know. And guys, speaking of the religious world, speaking of spirituality and prayer. This is not something we do on the show very often, and maybe it's something we should start doing. But we're going to open the show with a prayer from Pastor, Dr. James Manning this week. So let's take a listen to
have to bleep
to this prayer. More than likely, yes.
Still not, dude.
Do what?
Unmute your
screen. Oh, my screen's
in StreamYard. There you go.
Yep, there we go.
Goodness.
I ask you,
there we
as
go.
one anointed with the anointing of David and with the power and the spirit of the Holy Ghost, please, Lord, quickly eviscerate every black politician, those that are even lying in the hospital on their sick bed dying, or those that are dying of a terminal cancer, such as what Al Sharpton, perhaps starting with Al Sharpton first. Please Auschwitz them. Almighty God, hear my cry, hear my plea. Dachau, Auschwitz, every black politician. My only regret is that I can't include Barack Hussein, the long-legged Mac Daddy, Obama, and that cry to have them genocide. because Obama is not black, and neither is Camelback, ain't Black Harris. But Lord, set us free. Lord, rain down fire and brimstone as you did on that fateful night there in Sodom and Gomorrah. Or if need be, the way you caused the flood during the days of Noah. Please relieve us of all, every, and any black politician, past and present. Please remove them, all of them, from the face of the earth and from their plague upon humanity. I'm James David Manning. I pray this Auschwitz-Dachau genocide prayer, this Sodom and Gomorrah, this Noah's flood prayer upon all black politicians. And in the name of Jesus, do I make this prayer. Hallelujah and amen.
Amen. I mean, amen. What else can you say about that powerful prayer from Dr. James Manning?
I mean, holy, it's very funny.
It's just such a bold move to say publicly, I pray this Auschwitz-Dachau prayer. Like, who has the balls to say that?
Yeah,
this guy's he's I just automatically assume he's an industry plant, but he's gonna be completely disenfranchised by his entire community. And it's just so fun. Like, who's coming out and saying things like this? Yeah. John, any comments on this? I don't really have any comments on this. I just thought it was great.
I don't either. That was insane. He's 100% an industry plant, but you know, sometimes industry plants are entertaining.
So. They are. I mean, Alex Jones is peak. Yeah. This guy is just phenomenal. Like, I don't even care that much that he's an industry plant. It's just the entertainment value of the thing. Like, I can't. Yeah, it's great. So now that we've had our prayer to start the show, we can move on to
our YouTube channel banned.
Do what?
So now that we've gotten our YouTube channel banned.
Hey, why would it get? It's a black person saying these things. That makes it okay, right?
That's true. That's true.
That makes it. You can say racist stuff if you're brown. I think that's the rule. If you said racist stuff, John, but he can say it all day, and that's fine. And honestly, I think it's funnier coming from brown people. So I like that.
Yeah. The black, like, early 70s vibrato that he was able to pull off really helps that. Like, if that's like some white redneck, it doesn't hit as hard.
100. Well, if it's some white redneck, they just sound like an ass, right?
Yeah.
Or even if it was just like, if it was a black woman, it wouldn't go off as hard either. It's the fact that it is an old gray-haired black man with like the trembling in his voice, a preacher.
Really
sells it. It's the bravado helps, man. You can't do a prayer like this without the bravado. You got to have it. It's powerful. That's the power in the voice of the strong black man. It's the same power that was in the songs they would sing when they were slaves. It's come through the whole timeline to now. I feel like that's what that is. What?
Said all righty then. I don't really know what to do with that.
Me either. That was anyway. So speaking of Pastor Manning, let's talk about watermelon. So I feel like this is
what a start to the show.
What?
I said, what a start to the show.
I know, man. We're going hard this week. We're going hard. Also, I couldn't find anything that serious this week. I found a few.
We are slowly getting rid of all seeds.
There was a push for a long time, folks, and I don't even know if it was that public of a push, but everywhere you went out if you were in a corporate supermarket, every fruit you could find was like bragging that it was seedless, and we all thought about that, or at least I did, is like this real like a benefit, like if you got Bluetooth in your car in the 2000, in 2000 2011, right? It was like wow, I got Bluetooth in my car in 2011. It was the best. Or a CD player in like 2001 in your vehicle. You know, it was a bona fide benefit if you got a seedless fruit, a seedless watermelon is what I always got excited about because I grew up in the South. But like seedless lemons, seedless apples, like all of these fruits that were bred to be seedless. There was this big craze in the stores for like a hot minute about like seedless fruit. Everybody was excited about it. All these young urban professionals were leaving their fake jobs and flocking to the local Whole Foods for a pseudo-organic seedless watermelon. And it was exciting because it didn't have seeds in it, and that was good for some reason because you didn't have to spend a tenth of a second picking a seed out of your teeth. But it's a little concerning, and here's why.
Because once every apple, grape, watermelon, and tomato is seedless, guess who controls life itself? No more planting your own food. No more saving seeds for next season. Everything you eat, everything that grows, will come from our labs. And when the last natural seed is gone, that's when it gets fun. We can make them rare, expensive, maybe even licensed. Only billionaires that will have gardens, and everyone else will have to subscribe to eat. Sounds insane, right? But it's already happening. Seedless isn't convenience, it's containment. Every time you pick up a seedless fruit, you're holding a future that can't reproduce. So yeah, expect more seedless, everything. Because the easiest way to control the world is to stop it from growing. So remember to stay safe out there.
Dude, this is the most predictive programming type stuff I think I've seen in a little while. And the only reason that it really hit me as hard as it does is because like we've lived through it and now we're seeing the end game of this predictive programming stuff. And let me lay out this timeline for you, or this concept for you, I guess. Not much of a timeline, but like I think there are two things being accomplished here. A, obviously, the powers that be, whatever evil demonic entities running the world, whoever's controlling Nancy Pelosi's tits, is very excited about controlling the food supply as well, because obviously people like food. We're all dependent on the food supply chain on the daily, right? Unless you know your local farmer, and even then you're dependent on them for food. The only people who are truly independent are the folks out there growing the food on a homestead somewhere. People like Stacks, who we'll be talking to tomorrow. Great ad for their show. But these are the only people who are truly independent and truly self-sufficient and truly able to weather whatever kind of storm the powers that be may happen to inflict upon the masses. These are the only people who are able to live life when everything is falling down around them. These are the only people who are unaffected by all of these events that have occurred over my entire lifetime. Things like 9/11, things like the housing crash, things like Corona. Like these are the only people who are just completely unaffected by that shit, right? And so I think a large portion of this push is simply to centralize food production, right? It's a lot easier to control a populace that relies on you for food. Like this is not a complicated discussion, but the thing I find interesting about this, the end game that I think is more interesting about this is if you go back and look at any of the information on the Georgia Guidestones, you can go back and watch our show if you want, but there's a lot of information out. When were they blown up? A couple of years ago. But the Georgia Guidestones that were back in Elberton, Georgia, they got blown up not too long ago. But one of the tenets, one of the like 10 commandments on those Guidestones was maintain a population under, I believe it was 500 million. And these were like these weird occult obelisk Stonehenge type things that were just erected overnight in Elberton, Georgia, and stood for like it wasn't 33 years, was it, that they stood?
I want to say it was. Give me just a second. I mean, they're still up on the same latitude line,
right,
in Japan, but
was John's looking that up. One of the tenets was out of 10 tenets, which were like rule humanity with like justice, unite all humanity with like a common language, a bunch of weird like futuristic new age sounding stuff. But one of them was maintain a world population under 200 million. And it's become super obvious that there's this
42 years.
42 years. Okay. Yeah, the meaning of life. If you listen to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is a great book. Funny movie. It's got Martin Short or Martin Freeman. Those are different people. So where was I? These stones that were up, one of the tenets was maintain a population under 500 million. And it seems like so much of these big agendas that come out year after year, right? Agenda 2030, the things that are coming out of the World Economic Forum, things that Bill Gates is saying, things that Fauci is, so many of these things are centered around reducing the world population. And what did this guy say? He said once the seed population, he's talking about fruit here, but once that population is reduced, it's much easier to control, right? Because there's less food out there doing, right? Folks are doing the exact same thing with the human population. You can see it if you walk, and I probably talked an inordinate amount about this on our show, but like people aren't anymore. People aren't having kids. People aren't out there producing other people. Okay. And you can hear it very you can hear the end game very clearly in the way this guy talks about controlling the food population. Like the smaller the population is, the less, the fewer watermelons there are out there that can reproduce, the more we can control the watermelons that exist, right? The same thing is true for people. Conceptually, the same concept is true for people. The fewer people that are out there, right? The fewer unknown variables that are out there in the world, the easier it's going to be to control the masses. And so I think this concept, when it's laid out like this, is very telling about what the people who are running this whole world government, world economic, whatever you want to call it, this show, it's very telling about what they're aiming for. Slowly reducing the population so that people are a lot easier to control. And they're not doing it patently, obviously, by murdering people, right? That would be way too upfront and obvious. Quite frankly, I think that would wake people up. What they're doing is they're making people nihilistic. They're making people numb. They're making people so depressed they don't want to get out of bed in the morning. They're making people so that they don't want to go out and engage with other human beings. This is what happens when you engage with other human beings. That's like the spark of life right there. That's freedom. That's connection. This is a good thing. They don't want that happening, because if that happens, people start producing other human beings. And I'm not saying that the old world, like go to a bar, get drunk, and get some lady knocked up, was a smart move. That was bad. That was white trash, creepy people, right? But what I am saying is that this weird, like these weird MK Ultra micro traumas that are coming at you from your social media device on your phone, all the shit they're playing in front of you on your television, it all has a purpose. And I think one of the bigger purposes is to stop people from producing more people, because the fewer people we produce, the easier the population is to control. And it's well borne out in the way they've controlled the food supply. John?
Yeah. So Genesis 1:28, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish in the sea and over the birds of the heavens and every living thing that moves on the earth. Right? That is the first command given by God to men. Right? And that word subdue means to subject, to force, or to keep under, to bring into bondage. Right? It is commanded that men be over the earth and to be in control of it, to have stewardship over it, to manage it. Yep. Right? And that command is dependent on the first part of it, of being fruitful and multiply. Right? So if you take out part of that, you take away men's ability, right, to do the second part, which is to have dominion over it and to manage it.
Yeah.
So they're intertwined. It's all at getting, us to reject the first commandment ever given to us.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Like that is the entire aim of that that directive, I guess. I don't know what else to call that, but that's what that's aiming for. That's what this movement towards depopulating the earth is aiming for. You're exactly right. And I think one of the things that concerns me is just how subtle so much of it is. And sure, I mean, we talk about it every week. People in like our space are relatively aware of it, but like it's so subtle. I think it regularly works on people like, you and I that are, you know, I don't want to speak for you, but I think you're trying to be aware of the demons and principalities that are having influence over your life. But I think what happens is because that narrative is so entrenched in a lot of the things we have to engage in on a day-to-day basis, whether it's you know, you and I both have corporate jobs, whether it's, you know, the shit that comes at you on your phone, the stuff that's out there on social media. Like, you reach a point, I know I do, where you just stop wanting to engage with people. Like, whether you're aware of it or not, you just stop wanting to engage with people, even if it's just for a period of time. You're like, fuck, I am so tired, I'm so exhausted, I've had too much shit running through my brain. And even if I do go engage with people, like, what is the point? You know, I think so many people reach that so quickly now, whereas 40 years ago, before I was born, you had no choice but to engage with other people because there wasn't shit else to do with your life. And so I guess the thing that worries me the most about it, just how subtle it is, man. Like, it freaks me out.
Yeah, man. I mean, they've created a reality into where that's the norm, right? It is like, you know, you don't, pretty much everywhere where people go is like, you're not supposed to have like real interpersonal interactions.
Yeah.
It's like, for most people at their job, that's not theirs. Like, your interactions are on a transactional basis, right? And then, you know, the way commerce kind of works now is like they've cut that person to person interaction out to practically zero, right? You know, people, you know, they don't go into stores anymore. They order their shit online. Going to restaurants less and less because they have food delivered, right? And then, you know, and even when you do go into places, it's like, you know, there is this weird type of like sometimes unspoken, I don't know what to call it, but there's this like thing where it's like you're kind of weird if you're overtly friendly, right? If you like stand out and are like trying to, you know, trying to like connect with people, it's kind of seen as strange, you know? So it's like
100%.
it's just been so like spread out amongst so many facets of society. They've created a reality around it, right? So people think it's normal, so you don't even really recognize it.
Dude, you could not be more accurate. Like, people who are who initiate any kind of social contact with strangers out in public are weird. I think they're weird. I don't want to interact with them.
Yeah, man.
Like, 100%. And that's how you build connections. It's the most concept in the world, but like, from a social perspective, like philosophically, you don't want to interact. Most people I know, myself included, don't want to interact with strangers when you go out and about. But like, that's what you're surrounded by. You should have to interact with strangers. That's part of our reality. Is like, most people are not overly familiar in the world we live in. So that's kind of an important thing to do, is interact with strangers. But it's weird as hell. I don't like it either. And it's bad that I don't. Like, I completely agree with you. It's bad that I don't. But that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Oh, you're weird. I don't want to interact with you. Why are you talking to me? We're at the bar. I'm here to talk to the two people I came here with and no one else.
Yeah.
And that makes no sense. That makes no rational sense. 100%, dude. Yeah, that's freaky. That's super freaky. And speaking of relationships, okay, let's discuss the modern relationship dynamic here for a minute. Gotta unmute this. This lady went on stage with Chris Brown, and this was her husband's reaction.
Take you down here. Here's the rest of your shit. You think you get on stage with Chris Brown? Well, come get your shit. Come get all your shit. Talking about take me down. Yeah, take you down. How about now you take you down? Think you can get on stage with Chris Brown? Take you down, huh? I'll take you down, all right.
I have made this point before, and I will make it again. Pregnant. Guys, this is the only acceptable reaction when this amount of disrespect comes from your lady, because there's no recovery from this. This is just her revealing her true colors. And to do it in front of you with a smile on her face the entire time and after, she does not respect you, and that respect will never come, especially if this is not your reaction. You need to move her out, move on, find something better.
Okay. So while we're on the subject of relationships, I just wanted to tackle this concept really quickly because we've really vilified the male version of this, right? The male, do what?
I didn't know Chris Brown was still a thing.
Me either. who still uses his name on a weekly basis?
Right?
Yeah, like he had his time. He beat the shit out of Rihanna, and nobody's heard from him since. Like that's all that's happened with Chris Brown.
He got his song in The Office, and I feel like that was the last time I've ever heard anything about him. But sorry, continue.
Yeah, no, you're right. But we've vilified the male version of this, right? Like you go out, you cheat on your girlfriend or your wife or whatever, and you're a piece of shit. That's completely correct, right? Girlfriend catches you at a bar talking up another lady. You are a person. She should kick you out. Okay, I think we can all agree on that, right? We can all agree on that general topic. But what we've seen over the last probably 30 years, it kind of woven into the feminist movement, is this idea of like women are never wrong. It's a big part of that feminist movement, is like because they're a minority, they're never wrong. But there's also this concept of treating boundaries, relationship boundaries, is like inherently masculine. Women should mark relationship boundaries as well. But two, like men enforcing relationship boundaries is something that is toxic and bad. Okay, it's like toxic masculinity. Like she's just out there dancing, having fun. She should have a good time. You don't have to say about her having a good time. She's just having fun. It's not like they're going home and sleep. He was never going to sleep with her. That's the type of thing you will hear about people who go and engage in this sort of activity. Okay, but if they see a guy on stage doing that with a woman, they'll lose their minds. Now, neither of those behaviors is okay. But the point I'm trying to make is people have gone to the nth degree to try to, it's a weird dichotomy because we live in this world where we just talked about it. People don't want to engage with strangers. People don't want to have interpersonal relationships with people they don't already know. People aren't talking to other people. Like it's strongly discouraged out in public. But on the flip side of that, right, we've entered into this weird space where talking to a stranger isn't okay. But if you go out to like a concert and that person calls you on stage and you want to dance all over their dick or lick all over their, that's fine. That's perfectly acceptable. But don't talk to a stranger out in public. Like it's this super strange dichotomy. Because like if a guy did that, like let's say it was, I don't know, who's a famous lady singer?
I don't know. They're probably all men.
I don't know any of them. Is Miley Cyrus still famous? I don't know. Let's say that was Shakira or Beyonce. If a guy went up and did that, same thing, there would be one of two reactions. Either people would be talking about what like a weird piece of shit he was, but I think most people would be saying, yeah, it's fine. He's just up on stage with a lady while his girlfriend's weeping in the closet, you know? And so we've entered into this weird world where it's not okay to draw emotional relationship boundaries when it comes to certain behavior, like getting up on stage and grinding on a famous person. But yet we don't want you talking to a stranger in public, right? How the hell did we reach that point? Like it is such a strange, false dichotomy. Does that make sense, John? Like, do you get what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah. You know, the whatever the runs this show is like they want to create just this mass, you know, it's just chaos, right? It is brewing chaos in every aspect of people's lives. And, you know, the biggest thing that you can disrupt is putting chaos into the relationship between men and women. Because that gets back to what we were talking about at the opening of the show is like, you know, that up the whole system of how we're supposed to be here, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not surprising that that's what gets attacked like in the subversive culture first and foremost all the time from every angle you can imagine.
Right. Dude, I think you're exactly correct. I think what we're seeing is them trying to invert the way people should react to relationships. Like, because the way people should approach relationships is like, obviously people you have a relationship with that are close to you are like safe. Strangers in your community, while you shouldn't like be super intimate with them, those are more safe than complete utter strangers who are on stage doing this psychopath behavior in front of hundreds of thousands or millions of people, right?
Yeah,
That's like completely unsafe.
Yeah, some
right? Completely
some
unsafe
demon.
behavior. Yeah. And so, but we've created this like false gradient or false dichotomy where like, you know, it's still okay to have intimate relationships with your friends, your family, the people you're close to, but it's not okay to have intimate, like to initiate a relationship with a stranger, but it is okay to initiate a relationship or to have, you know, some level of physical or emotional intimacy with a complete stranger who you're never going to see again on stage in front of hundreds of thousands of people. Like, that's completely backwards. And it's just so strange how we've made that normal. Like, nobody thinks twice about Chris Brown calling some hot on stage to grind on his. Nobody thinks twice about that. But John, if you walk into a bar and say hello to the incel guy at the end of the bar, he's gonna wonder who the autistic guy is who said hi to him on his way out. Like, that's the way that's gonna work, and that's so backwards. That's so backwards. Rant over. Anyway, relationships are, guys. I wonder if it would help if we were all sapiosexual, which is a term I just learned this week. So Vice, one of my least favorite publications, came out with an article entitled "Everything to Know About Sapiosexuals, One of the Internet's Most Misunderstood Sexualities." And in this article, it cites this new alleged sexuality, which this terminology is already, but this new alleged sexuality as romantic attraction primarily driven by intelligence. Term's been around since at least the early 2000s. Q, well done. Bunch of mine. That's good job, buddy. The term's been around since the early 2000s. If we had banger bucks, Q, you would have won right there. That would have been over. And a growing number of people have found it described something they'd always felt but never had language for. For sapiosexuals, the spark usually comes from conversation, curiosity, depth, the ability to hold a challenging idea without flinching. Some doctor, some founder of ontic psychology, Candace O'Neill. I'm always skeptical of people named Candace. Often seek shared curiosity, philosophical debates, and deep values in partners who are curious about the world and themselves. Can reduce pressure to conform to physical ideals, create a solid foundation for meaning, purpose, discovery, and fulfillment. Here's what I find functionally, a couple of things I find functionally about this. I finally find the portion of the article I wanted to track down. On top of that, some LGBTQ plus advocates have taken issue with calling this an orientation at all, pointing out that orientation labels carry legal and cultural significance behind the personal. So does that mean that you should feel like, are you allowed to call yourself gay anymore? You know, or is that some kind of cultural appropriation if you're a gay dude calling yourself gay? I mean, does that not seem that claim? It also says it's confused with demisexuality, which describes sexual attraction that only develops after an emotional connection forms. The social reality is so. We have to come up with special terms for enjoying the person you're attracted to. We have to come up with debaucherous, just like terminology for saying, I like my girlfriend. That's what this is. That is somebody going to the nth degree to not say, I enjoy my spouse. This is the version of a guy not wanting to say he enjoys spending time with his wife. This is the gay version of that, okay? This is somebody not being willing to say, I really enjoy my husband, but instead saying, well, I'm like a sapiosexual. And like, my husband's really smart, so I'm actually attracted to his intellect. He's kind of an asshole, but I'm actually attracted to his intellect. Like, it's such a concept. This is a fully thing to even write an article about, much less a concept to entertain. I'm kind of upset I've been talking about it, but I mean, this is just wholly and completely ridiculous. John, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's the end goal of all of the LGBT crap. They got to make everything gay, right? They made your sports gay, and now they're coming for just your normal human interaction to make it gay, man. They're just that's all. It's what you're describing. So just watch out. They got to make everything gay.
We're making everything gay. Gay up the world. Completely ridiculous.
Yeah, that was complete. Just completely.
Yeah. And speaking of things that are gay and completely, let's talk about Canada. So in Canada, I guess they've been charging tariffs or some on American goods. And so Trump's clapping back, saying we're going to impose 50% tariffs on Canadian goods, citing disputes over cars, alcohol, and cheese. Now, listen, guys, I'm not like an overtly political person, okay? But let me ask you folks in chat, I really genuinely am curious. What the fuck are we getting from Canada that we're worried about this happening with? Like, maple syrup and what else? Like, what else are we getting from Canada? Why do we feel like this is important?
Yeah, Canadian whiskey.
I'll take Canadian whiskey over Tennessee whiskey any day of the week, John, and I'll stand by that as a native Tennessean.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That being said, what the else are we getting from Canada? Like, what is a 50% tariff on Canada? They're 18 gallons of maple syrup. Like, that's all we're going to tariff. What else are we tariff? What cars are made? This site's autos. What cars are made in Canada? Can you imagine a Canadian trying to build a car? It's completely. That's all I had on this. I just thought this was completely ridiculous that we were worried about leveraging tariffs with our neighbors to the north. Like, I just cheese. We get cheese from Canada. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. All over social media, folks. Now we're getting to the meat of the shit tonight. All over social media, everybody has been talking about Andrew Tate's arrest. And for anybody, John, have you watched this at all?
I have not.
Okay. For a lot of people, so I don't know how many people on here have watched the World Cup. That looked weird. This also looks weird. And John, I'm interested to see if you catch the bit everybody's pointing at. It's subtle. It's difficult to find, but we'll see if you track it down, folks. Let's watch. So they're just arresting Andrew Tate right now. He's looking gay in a purple shirt. And they're in this particular video, they're focused on like him handing his phone over to his buddy with the beard. And it already happened. John, did you notice it?
No.
Okay. I'm going to rewind. Folks, if you're listening to this on like Spotify or anywhere else, I am sorry. But you gotta watch this to see it. Let's see if we can catch it. Oh, I missed it. I just missed it. Right here, John. Look at his left shoe.
Oh, yeah.
The front, like, third of his
like
left shoe disappears.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is the same color as the concrete.
Yeah. I was thinking for a second you were talking about why his brother is like, dressed like a rabbi. There's
also that.
That's a little bit what I was focusing on. But yeah, I see what you're talking about.
And there's been another video that's been going around. I couldn't find it of this same arrest and like one of the guys in the background just completely disappearing. And so what I'm beginning to wonder is just how much AI are we being subjected to on the daily, you know? Because, I mean, you said it. We watched the World Cup final at your place. The entire video footage for the World Cup final looked fake.
Yeah, it looked really, really like you know, I kind of wonder what they actually saw in the stadium, because there's no way it was the same as what we were seeing.
Yeah,
like out on screen, it looked really, really crappy.
Yeah. And now all these videos of the Tate arrest are surfacing, and we've got his shoe disappearing. I wish I could have found the one of just like the random guy disappears into the crowd. But all of these videos of this super publicized arrest, like, you know, allegedly they're trying to extradite him to like the UK. They're fighting it. He's being arrested for like some kind of like child trafficking or child abuse or some shit. I don't know. They're trying to make him the new Epstein, whatever. But there's so much focus on these videos, and then there's this weird drop in the middle of the video where his shoe disappears. Now, one of two things has got to be the case here. Either whoever is producing the news at this point is just producing so much video footage that they're starting to make a mistake. One of three things. They're starting to make mistakes. People are getting wise to the like the AI news that's out there, and they're looking for it. Okay. Or like somebody's going back and doctoring this footage. Like, these are our only options. Right? But or they're putting it out there specifically for people to find. And that's what I'm starting to wonder, is are we putting out AI news articles simply in an effort to get people to notice it and react? Simply to get people to notice it and maybe just start to discredit anything and everything they see and not believe in anything. Like, I think that concept really drives people towards that nihilism we were talking about earlier with a lot of the relationships, right? Because if all that's on your news feed is this just smorgasbord, this just myriad of videos and that's pushed on you, and you can't tell if any of it's real, if any of it's fake, what's true, what's not. I feel like you reach a point where you just stop caring, right? You just become numb and unconcerned with anything that's going on either in the world or around you. Like, you reach a point where you stop giving a shit, you know? John, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is my first time getting exposed to the whole Tate arrest thing. I don't even know what it's about. You know, both of those guys are absolutely industry plants. And I can definitely see this being like, you know, ramped up into the whole noticing thing that's going on.
Yeah.
You know, definitely that's going to be the narrative that it swings. And it's like, you know, it's I'm trying to find the way I want to put this. I think it's very, very telling that, like, there is, you know, whether, you know, like you said in the chat, that it's just, you know, video production from like a compression issue, or if it is AI, like it is very clear that, like, you know, whether purposeful or not, it's used to kind of fuel the narrative, right? It's kind of used to fuel this like fake kind of dissension narrative that like the Tate brothers are at like the forefront of.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't really know if it even matters a whole lot on, like, you know, trying to figure out if this is how they're doing it or what. It all has the same end result.
I think there's probably some truth there, that the end result is the same either way. I just think it's good to know, like, I don't know, what's the goal? What's the end game here? Like, what's your points? I think that speaks to the greater truth of the matter, whatever that happens to be, whatever they're aiming for. But I mean, I think you're right. I guess it doesn't matter at the end of the day, but I don't know. I think it's a valuable question. But yeah, man, it's reaching a point where they're just driving this like everything's fake or everything could be fake narrative so hard, and I assume it's not inadvertent, right? Like the people who are running all these news organizations, all these social media platforms, like it can't be accidental.
No,
these people aren't functionally, and so there's got to be a purpose behind all these AI leaks. I mean, you remember back in 2020 when you couldn't get a word out about the Rona if it was in dissension of what the mainstream narrative was, right? Like these people have a tight control on the media lanes.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not if they want
stuff
to,
is accidentally slipping out.
They can hold down at least for a little while.
Right. And so I can't help but assume that whatever information like this or whatever video footage like this is being leaked out there, and there have been a ton as of the last like couple of years, is purposeful. It's there for a reason. It's there to either make you question your reality, or maybe it's just there to make you not give a shit what reality is anymore. If it were my money, I'd bet that's the end game.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's my best guess. Yeah. Anything else on that before we move on?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious of how that whole Tariffs narrative is going to play out, because it's like they've created those guys to be like these massive influencers in like the dissident right.
Yeah.
And kind of out of some of the we were talking about earlier in the show, and all of this like that's been going on in the culture about like modern relationships, is like people like the Tate brothers have kind of become really popular by kind of selling a false solution to it.
Mm-hmm.
They've sold this like false idea of masculinity, which when you actually look at it, it's pretty feminine. And if you look at them, they're pretty feminine.
Well, it's insecure. Like so much of their narrative is just insecurity. Like bring me 2 coffees. Why? Because you respect me enough to bring me 2 coffees. What the
that's all like gay feminine.
Yeah.
When you actually like look by it, and it's like really become very popular amongst a lot of like young men. It's really dangerous. So I'm just kind of curious as like if this will be used to set up like set them up as like victims, so to speak, or like even garner more into like their kind of not just like cultural and lifestyle movement, but they're also big on the Jews. So it's like it's kind of a double whammy there, if you will. So I'm just kind of curious if that's how it's going to play out. I don't know enough about like what the proposed story is to kind of get a gauge on that, but
that's a good prediction though, bro. Can we get odds on like Polymarket or Kalshi for?
Dude, that's a good idea. We should start making conspiracy betting app.
Yes. Is Andrew Tate going to be a martyr in 6 to 8 months? Like
that's a good idea. Actually,
it's a good move. I don't know who could bankroll that, but that would be pretty sweet.
Either, but if there's a way to host it, we should do that. It's like
let's get Kalshi to host it, dude, or Polymart. Like, if we could get odds on that, we could bet on it, John, and then we could make money. But and we wouldn't be poor, and we wouldn't have to do this remotely anyway. We
have a studio. We don't have to do this remotely.
That's a fair point. We choose to do this remotely on Tuesdays. Yeah. Shut up, John. Gosh, I'm trying to make a point. Jeez.
Make a better one.
I'll try. Yeah, I can't promise anything. So I hadn't thought about it from that angle, man. But with like the retirement period for a period of time of Andrew Tate from the mainstream media, like you didn't hear from him for a hot minute, and now he's coming back and he's getting arrested. And there seemed to be like he had a weird like cult following, and so I wonder if you might be right about that, man. If they're setting him up to be some kind of martyr-ish, I don't know that you can be a martyr with that much money, but some kind of martyr-ish figure out in the media.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like if they're accusing him of like child sex trafficking, like I can already see just the narrative there of him being like, the child sex traffickers accusing me of child sex trafficking. Like, right. It kind of writes itself a little bit.
It does.
So I'm just curious of how it plays out.
That's a fair question.
I might have to follow that a little bit.
Yeah, we'll try to bring it up on the Tuesdays regularly. We'll follow the Tate trial. You're home for Tate trial commentary, folks. Touch Me Tuesdays on the Veritas Road. You heard it here first. All right. So switching gears a little bit away from toxic masculinity to just the gayest people on earth. The New York Post covered a court case where this still shocks me. Ironically, these people are Canadian. A Canadian same-sex couple. Let me try that again. A Canadian same-sex couple is suing the woman who carried their now 2-year-old son because she refused their demand to abort the fetus because of a minor birth defect and a cleft lip. According to the suit filed in Ontario Superior Court in May and obtained by the National Post, the parents claim the surrogate didn't adequately keep them informed about the baby's health, put the child at risk, violated confidentiality, and caused them emotional distress. Now, let's break down the logic here. These parents, these two, I think the nice word is are pissed.
Yeah, don't call them parents. They're not parents.
That this mother that they implanted their child. Okay, first of all, these two gay dudes rented a uterus. Okay, so these two gay dudes paid a woman for her ute. Okay, they rented a uterus much like you would an Escalade. All right, they rented a uterus and put a baby in it, I assume with one of their genetic material. Okay, now after they had successfully inseminated this lady, they found out that their kiddo is going to have a cleft palate, which is, according to my understanding, pretty fixable these days. It does pose some risks, but generically fixable. And because they love this child so much, their solution was to go ahead and kill the little mother because it had a cleft palate. And they're concerned that the mother carrying the child to term put the child at risk. Let me say this again. These people who were demanding an abortion from mom were so concerned about the safety of the child, they thought it was better to abort the child. If you didn't follow me to the logical end there, folks, that makes no rational sense. That makes no rational sense. And so in an effort to protect the child, they sued mom for $600,000. And I think that's US dollars, not their currency up in Canada. That is one of the most twisted, disgusting things I think I've read in a long time. Okay? You chose to attempt to, because you were too gay to inside a lady, you chose to create life artificially inside a lady. Okay? And because you weren't satisfied with the life you created because of your own twisted, sick, just self-obsession, you thought the best move was to go ahead and kill that baby. And you demanded that mother kill that baby and then sued her because she chose to carry that child to term. I mean, these people are truly the scum of the earth. I mean, these are genuine. I say that jokingly most of the time. These are really people. Genuinely. I don't care how gay they are. I don't care how pretty their house is. I'd probably love to have a nice tea with them, but they're people, okay? Invite me to tea, but you can kiss my ass. If your solution to getting this woman pregnant is to demand she abort your child, completely up and irrational. John, I mean, is there anything else to say other than that's disgusting?
Yeah, I mean, if this isn't an evidence of word magic, I don't know what is, because it's like this article is written like this is just a completely normal thing. And newsflash, it's not. Is this should read that Canadian are suing the woman that they stole a child or bought a child from / stole, right, for that woman not killing a child. That's what that should read, because that's what's happening, right? That's not normal. And trying to slate it in this way is trying to like get this to be like, oh, this is just like, you know, a normal like legal dispute in your brain. And like, it's not. Like, this is just debaucherous, you know, sodomite. And it's
yeah.
There are not words strong enough that I have to like, you know, to describe this. It's just disturbing. But that's
100%.
That's what they try to do, man. That's how they try to get you. Is they try to sell you this type of just absolute crap as something that is normal.
Yeah. Well, dude, okay.
And it's not. And like that's the spell.
Right.
Like, you gotta watch yourself when you're exposed to that, dude.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. Additional, perhaps unpopular point. Okay. It goes on to say in the article, mom chose to have their baby. Is it a little bit on mom at this point for volunteering her uterus to two gay dudes?
100%. 100%.
And choosing to carry their baby, choosing to rent out her ute.
Yeah.
Like that was your best option? Two gay Canadians? I mean, I can think of at least make them black, you know, like at least make your kid have a massive schlong. Like do something.
Yeah. Don't sell kids. It's don't sell kids. Like, let's start with that principle.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Yes.
In whatever way that it happens, whether you grow them or whether you find them somewhere, don't sell kids. Like, that's what this is.
100%.
And definitely don't sell kids to gay guys. Also, like, take it a step further.
You're absolutely right.
There's so many levels to get to stop this. Like the first is the base is stop selling kids, but like, you know, it's so weird that like there's a way that's framed where people will be like, oh, that's terrible, you know?
Yeah.
But you frame it in this way, and it's just like people will get on board with it. It's just like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, you said it in the beginning, dude. It's word magic. It's people used to call it spin back in the day. You know, they've spun this article to make it sound okay, to make it sound normal, even because it's very cleverly written. Like if you go read this article, they make it sound almost neutral the way they discuss it. And I think if they had gone too far in support of these two guys who were purchasing this child, people would have caught on.
No.
But they make it sound borderline neutral the way they write this article. And so it's harder to discern just how genuinely this is.
Yeah. And somehow it seems like these two have custody of this kid, which is like,
it appears so. This child they tried to, like this child they tried to abort.
And completely up entirely. Like, dude.
Yeah. It does. The way it sounds, they still have possession of the child. I don't want to say possession seems like a strong word here, but they still have the kid. It seems like, based on the article, it doesn't say that overtly, but like the article makes it sound like they still have the child.
Yeah.
What a f***ed up way to grow up, knowing that dad tried to kill you because you had a cleft palate before you were even born. Yeah. Like how do bedtime stories go with dada and like, what do you do? How does going to bed work? Like, go to bed, sweetie pie. Aren't you happy that daddy didn't you? All the good. Make sure to eat your broccoli because daddy might abort you. Like, is that going to be the legend in this child's house? The tooth fairy. You might get aborted if you don't give the tooth fairy your tooth. Don't worry about getting change under your pillow. Daddy might abort you. Make sure to do your chores or daddy might abort you. Like, what kind of ridiculous reality is this kid going to grow up in?
Yeah, it's sad. And like the parents, where was this? The parents agreed to proceed with the pregnancy after doctors at Mount Sinai Hospital said the baby was genuinely healthy. Like, if you just want to know that like these people, like, you know, whatever's running this is, in opposition to God. Like, just look at their narratives and look at the rhetoric that they use and the shit that they put in. Like, oh my goodness, this is insane. Like,
yeah, no, I mean, you're 100% right. And dude, not to switch gears on the people very quickly, but speaking of narratives, okay, I just don't know what to do anymore with this continued Iran narrative. So allegedly gas prices have hit $4 again after oil soars more than 15% in a week. This article came out, let's see, July 20th. So that was a day ago. This has been going on off and on, that news companies have been pushing these articles out about gas prices for the last, year, close to it, where about every 3 to 4 weeks, they'll push another round of media out there to try to scare the out of people, to make them think they're not going to be able to afford gas next. Because we talked about this ad nauseum on the show. I don't want to spend too much time on this whole concept that, like, this isn't going to really affect your life at the end of the day. More than likely it might, but hopefully A, you're preparing to disengage from the system, and B, you realize a lot of this is okay. But what I'm genuinely curious about is, where the hell is this narrative headed? Like, I don't really understand at this point, and it seems to me like they're really working to mask the actual reality of this whole, like, limited resources concept. Because if you look into, like, the way that, I don't know, the Bible and a lot of these older documents talk about the world and talk about resources and talk about people living, like, it seems to me like most resources are pretty damn plentiful on the earth. And it's a big thing in, like, the conspiracy world that, like, if you watch this video, oil's flowing everywhere. Is this some kind of false scare? And this video is probably AI. I don't know. But is this some kind of false scarcity? I use this to illustrate a point.
yeah.
Is this some kind of false scarcity that's being pushed on the people to simply scare you into assuming that the reality they hand you is actual objective reality, And is this just another way, like giving people difficult stabbed into a dinosaur in the ground? is this a way of simply scaring people into believing a false narrative? Like, we're just going to change, because obviously there's a monopoly on the gas that's sold to you. So, I mean, what an easy way to get people to believe that something's true than to lie about something, and then to make a change that they're really going to feel in their life, to make it appear that something's real and legitimately scarce. If you have control over a thing, over a resource, you can do that.
Yeah.
John?
Yeah, I mean, it's a captive spell, right? Is if you can convince people that, this, that, or the other could get in the world or in their way of life, is like you essentially hold them prisoner, right? Mm-hmm. And whether it be gas prices, whether it be, food, whatever you want to put in that, slot, all the way up to nukes, is like it all of it is just, something to convince people that, like, their lives, their well-being, their happiness, just every aspect of their life is not dependent on them. It's dependent on this, like, monstrous entity that they, like, the behind the scenes that they don't even know.
Yeah.
It's dependent on these, the economy, or whatever you want to call it. And it's just, at the end of the day, that's actually not true. You
right.
have ownership for your own life and your own, well-being and what you do with it, but they want to convince you that you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And they have all of these little spells to try and do that.
Yeah, man, you're exactly right. And spells is a good word for it. And if you want a great example of it, folks, I mean, they did it with the Rona. Like, everybody lived through that, right? most people who are old enough to be watching this and not wondering why the creepy redheaded man said dirty words. Like most people went through the Rona as adults, and they absolutely did it with that. Like they affected your reality in ways that didn't make sense. They made it hard to go to the grocery store. They made it where you couldn't buy toilet paper. They put these little marks on the ground where you had to stand far away from people. Meanwhile, for the vast majority of people, there was no hard evidence that the thing they were saying was going on was actually happening.
Yeah.
You know, like some people, Mimi got sick or Pop got sick or whatever with, you know, something, you know. But for most people, there was no legitimate change in their reality. There were forced changes to their reality, but there were no natural changes to their reality. But the manufactured reality they push on you makes the fake reality that they're trying to convince you of seem that much more real.
Yeah.
It's freaky, man. It's powerful because it works.
Yeah.
Q said he bought a bidet. He hasn't used toilet paper since. I respect that, man. Seems a little gay. I myself considered getting a bidet though, so I no judgment here. You know, the family that bidets together probably does the butt stuff, but that's up to you. You know, that's between you and whoever you're interacting with the bidet.
All right.
Speaking of bidets, it seems like there's been a large group of people who has been in need of them after this mass outbreak of Cyclosporiasis from Taylor Farms lettuce. Okay, and so here's just a bunch of that went on with this. Supposedly, a bunch of people are getting cyclosporiasis, which I'd never heard of until I looked this article up, because it's been all over the social media. And this is essentially just massive explosive diarrhea. That's what this is. They have a fun sciencey name for it. A bunch of people are getting explosive diarrhea from buying bleached covered lettuce from Taylor Farms. Big surprise, right? Allegedly, there was a false positive test with this lettuce. So they're telling you, hey, this lettuce tested negative for this thing, but a bunch of people have this because of this lettuce. Already, this narrative doesn't make any sense, right? But supposedly, the FDA's traceback investigation and outbreak data continue to converge on shredded iceberg lettuce from Taylor Farms located in central Mexico. Well, there's your problem. It's Mexican lettuce. It's drinking the same water that gives people dysentery down there. There's your issue. Protecting the American public remains our highest priority. We encourage the public to continue to avoid all products listed in Taylor Farms voluntary recall. So for people who aren't aware, Taylor Farms produces the vast majority of lettuce that is shipped out to a large chunk of restaurants nationwide. Now, one thing I want to note regarding this narrative, and I think this is important. I think this is very important. So, folks, please stick with me. Make it through this article. This is probably the most important thing we'll discuss tonight. Taco Bell came out with a statement. We want you to hear it from us. We take your health and safety seriously and have removed all affected Taylor Farms lettuce from Taco Bell stores. So go ahead and enjoy your Taco Bell today. You always got us. We always got you. See you in the drive-thru, Purple Heart. Now, maybe this is ridiculous of me to try to reason through, but you're telling me people got the shits after Taco Bell and they're blaming it on the lettuce. Guys, you just ate Taco Bell. Taco Bell. The meat is made of shit. And you're concerned because you got diarrhea after eating Taco Bell? This is the narrative, folks. The narrative is people ate Taco Bell, shat a lot, and we're concerned because Taylor Farms might have a parasite. Have you heard anything more fake ever? Has anyone ever not had diarrhea? John, have you ever eaten Taco Bell and not had diarrhea after?
I don't think so. Definitely have had some interesting shits.
Would you be concerned if there was a parasite in your lettuce after you ate Taco Bell, or would you just assume you ate Taco Bell. You're gonna have diarrhea. It's like
that's marketing for them. You know,
right.
If you want diarrhea, here it is.
You want to clear out your system, folks. Eat Taco Bell. This is just the most retarded narrative I've heard in a long time. I could not. I can't believe that they're trying to play it off this way. Just, we're concerned you had diarrhea after eating Taco Bell. It might be an illness.
No, I mean, it's the Crunch Wrap, man.
It's the Crunch Wrap. It's the Nachos Bel Grande. It's the Doritos Locos Taco. It's the beefy 7-layer burrito. It's the Mexican pizza.
The quesarito. That was,
dude, the quesarito's a good time.
That's something.
I love the quesarito. Love a Crunch Wrap too.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than if you want some hot sauce, like maybe you made some chili or some Mexican food, and you go to your fridge and you're out of hot sauce, but you find some mild and hot sauce packets. That's like the best. Is there a better fake hot sauce than Taco Bell sauce? I hesitate to call it hot sauce. It's so damn good.
Yeah. Mix that in. Did that in college and mix that in with some Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Oh,
you talk about eating something that's probably will kill you, but man,
it's straight plastic and chemicals.
Yeah, it's good.
It's so delicious.
Don't do delicious. That though. It's not good for you.
Your brother introduced me to that in college, and it changed my life. It changed my life. I didn't eat it that often, but it changed my life.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Man, Taco Bell. Just as a statement to Taco Bell, we appreciate the diarrhea. It's not a fallback. Okay. It's a feature. We appreciate the diarrhea. If I ever need to clean the pipes out, I know I have nothing else to do but to go to Taco Bell, and I can count on the quesarito, the 7-layer burrito, to clean my pipes out like a hose in a drain. Okay. And so Taco Bell, we thank you for your service to the American people, for giving us the shit since 1938. We're grateful. I don't know if that's when Taco Bell opened or not, but yeah, we're grateful to Taco Bell here on the Veritas. I never thought that's a thing I would be saying on this show, John, but thank you, Taco Bell, for all that you do for the American people. Guys, we're gonna start winding down here shortly because I have to go Betty bye because I'm an old person. And John does too. You know, John doesn't get enough sleep, and we're concerned about him. But two things as we end the show that I want to share with the people. The first, and I'm not sure, quite honestly, how this will play. So we'll find out, guys. If this is terrible, let us know in the chat. The first is this is a video from what is tantamount to a German Senate hearing where a young German MP starts talking to another German MP, and I just think the dialogue is phenomenal. Let's listen in.
Also Herr Reichert,
What?
die Klitoris
The clitoris
hat 3000 Nervenenden.
has 3,000
Und Sie sind
nerve
trotzdem
endings.
empfindlicher. Das muss man echt mal schaffen.
And yet you're more sensitive. That's quite an achievement, really. I think that is some of the best talk I've ever heard, and I think it's way better in German. I think it's way the hell better in German. This lady is impressive, and I think we should make a push to get her in the United States Congress. I mean, John, what do you think about that? Is that the way we should start running our congressional hearings? I feel like it could work.
You know, paying attention to U.S. politics is. What are you doing if you're paying attention to like some German people just bitching at each other? Like that's so
you calling
much
me out, bro?
Well, just in general, like what are they accomplishing? Like I often wonder that. Like what's the political front for like Belarus? Right? Like they're not doing anything, you know?
Yeah.
And it's interesting to me.
That is interesting. I don't know who got that video and was like, I'm going to put this on Facebook.
No.
You know, that's a good question. And folks, we're going to end the show in a similar fashion to the way we started the show. We started the show with a prayer from Pastor James Manning. And folks, he has a statement to end the show. So let's listen to the powerful words of Pastor James Manning, ladies and gentlemen.
I like hot sauce. I like a basketball, and I don't want to work. The Lord told me to tell you that a white boy, 11 years old, went to his mama and said to mama, I know I'm born a white boy. I know I was born in the white family. I know I was born in the money. And you got blue eyes, mama. And I got blue eyes too. Mama, I know I was born a white boy. But mama, inside, I'm a mama. I've been holding it back. I've been reading and I've been on the line. I know I got blue eyes. I know I got blonde hair. But mama, inside, I want to be a mama, I want to be a mama, I want to eat watermelon. I like hot sauce. I like a basketball, and I don't want to work. Mama, I'm a I ain't no white man. I know I got blonde hair, but mama, I was born a Can you take me to the doctor? Can you take me to a doctor? I want to be a mama, I'm a Now, you may not like that, but that's what the Lord told me to tell you.
All right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to send you away tonight with those powerful words from Dr. James Manning. We hope they touched you the same way they've touched us this week. Folks, if you like the show, you want to support the show, be sure to like and follow the stream wherever you're listening, Twitter, what the hell, Twitter, the other places we're at, YouTube, Rumble, all the places. Be sure to go check us out on all the audio platforms. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, all the places. Be sure to follow the Veritas Road there. And then, folks, if you like the show, maybe you want a little bit more of the show, we do have a Patreon that is up and running. You can scan the QR code in the top left-hand corner. John, you proud of me? I remembered it this time. You can scan the QR code in the top left-hand corner. That'll take you directly to the Patreon. You can get some bonus episodes there, some bonus guest reactions. Every time we have a guest on the show, we go live directly to our Patreon listeners. You can watch the post-show reaction. Those are typically a really good time, actually. I've really enjoyed those as of late. The guests we've had on, they've been really fun. So be sure to join that. And you can also join our Discord chat, which is mainly just a bunch of leaks from Neff Hunter and Q talking every other day. So that's a pretty good time as well, actually. So you'll get access to that if you join the Patreon. Be sure to check that out. We'll get back to you guys about what we have coming up next. I know I'm going to hop on a stream with Stax and Drew from Stax Farmstead tomorrow. I believe that's 7 or 8 p.m. I can't remember when. I think it's 7 p.m. Central Time. I don't know what time it is for them. I think it's 8 p.m. Eastern. So that'll be a good time. John's abandoning us for that. I don't think he's planning on showing up. If he does, great.
I will be in the chat probably for a little bit.
Fair enough.
But I will not be able to make the stream, unfortunately. Kind of sad about that. I love those guys. So
yeah, it's all right. You'll catch the next one.
Yeah, for sure.
So Q, I made y'all a song, but I didn't listen to it. That sounds about right. So yeah, be sure to check out that stream. Go like and follow their channel. They have a lot of good guests, have a lot of good stuff over there. So go check that out. All right. And is that it, John? Did I miss anything?
I don't think you covered it, man.
Sounds like a plan, folks. Well, thanks for listening this week. We got anywhere to send the people?
Yeah, I'll send them over to Austin, Jose. They're about to start. So
okay, sweet. Well, we'll kick y'all off to Already Dead, and we'll catch you guys next week. Bye.